Hi, welcome to Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. We're in the woods with a busted arm, well, busted, sprained wrist. We're going to get out in the woods here today. We're going to have a lovely day. It is stunning, it is spring, it is great. I'm feeling fantastic and I hope you are too. This is Mickey, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Let's get on it. Let's get on it. So, trees, plants. I am going to try and endeavour to give you a bit of a run through on each individual video on a plant or a tree. So, I'm in a mostly beech and pine woods here. So let's talk about beech. Let's identify it. So we're in winter. Okay. So the beech tree, Fagus family. It is all over Europe. It's a good wood, burns well, can be used for making tools. It does have one drawback, and it suffers with something called cambium failure, which is a cell breakdown in the wood, and the larger ones can drop some pretty big branches on you, and almost silently. You will hardly ever hear them go. Ask my little brother. Happened to us making a tree swing when I think he was about 12, ended up with about 6 stitches in his head. I always got blamed for it. However, I knew nothing of cambium failure then. So the beech, quite easily identified. Okay, here we have a beech tree, and as you see, the bark is quite smooth. Excuse the plate. Yeah, go on mate, you could at least go up a little bit higher so we don't have to listen to you. No, go on, show off. Oh, no, he's racing somebody. Fantastic. Yeah, go on, get above 60 mile an hour, you swines. Always when I'm filming. Right, you wait. Later on, we'll get a Chinook. Okie doke. Hopefully they've gone far enough now that you're not hearing them, but you're hearing me. So the beech tree, easily identified, has quite a smooth bark, okay? The leaves are easily identified, and because it's still winter, I'll pick one up. Okay, well, it's not probably the best one, it's 2 leaves there. There we go, there's the leaf. So it is of an ovate shape. It has fine veins that don't run out equally from one another, okay, on the back, and they run straight towards the tips. And these leaves at this time of year are not much use to you at all. However, in the spring and the summer when they're green, make an absolute brilliant salad green. Okay, beech leaves are edible. They taste quite pleasant, especially when they're younger in the spring. I quite enjoy them. Nice salad plant, very sweet. The fruit, the beech nut, it's a very small nut. It's a swine to harvest. However, it is full of oils, and good oils. Okay, so if you are in a beech woods, yes, you can collect them, take the time to harvest them, take the thin brown shuck off. You should find the kernels inside. You can roast those, you can make a coffee substitute out of them, you can eat them raw. Okay, very good, very high in oils. In actual fact, in some places you will pay an absolute fortune for beech nut oil. Have a look online. Okay, now when I'm talking about cambium failure, I'm talking about beech trees like that. So as we can see, this beech behind me, quite a substantial beast, and the branches are very thick, very heavy, and if you were camping under that, there's a risk of one of those coming down with literally no warning, and it will ruin your day. Young beech, more like this, quite a tall, spindly plant. That's mainly due to this type of woodland. It's not been managed particularly well prior to us coming here, so a lot of these beeches have grown tall and thin and spindly. Personally, I would thin it out a little bit and let them thicken up. But there we go, beech trees. Brilliant wood for burning, brilliant wood for tools, okay. Has fruit that you can eat and has leaves that you can eat. It's a survival tree. So hopefully that gives you a tip. Go out, get yourself a tree book, identify your trees. That's the first tree of 2020. As we said before, survival. So if you're talking about survival, first rule of survival is shelter. Get your shelter up. So that's the first job we've got today. And on my pack, I have a shelter kit. Okay, this shelter kit, very easy. It is a poncho. It is all the pegs I require for poncho to do a ground or a raised shelter, and it's also got a hammock in it. Okay, the bag that I've made here is quite simple. That is the lower leg from a pair of old OG military style trousers. You can see the old tie there for the ankles. That would have been the ankles there. And all I've done when they were knackered, cut the leg off, stitched in a panel on the base. That makes a nice little tie down bag. That means you can chuck your kit in it, and as I've written on there, DPM, tarp, plus hammock. Right, lives on the side. Want to grab it, don't lose anything, all bundles up nice, goes underneath my bag, and away I go. So there you go. You could do that with a pair of jeans, you could do that with any pair of trousers of fairly sturdy material. And you're tying at the bottom. Most trousers will have a hem here, all right, a hem around the bottom. If you can thread a line through that hem, then you can make something to hold your kit. So in there, I have hammock. And one MTP tarp. Doesn't matter what colour the tarp is, really, to be honest with you. Tarp is a tarp is a tarp. Okie doke. So, and then on top of that, spare line, guy line. Okay, pegs for pegging out. It's easy. It's all in one little kit, all tucked out the way. Doesn't weigh much. I can move it around on my kit bag, and it doesn't have to go inside. So let's get into it. Shelter first, always. Okay, get the shelter up. If it rains, weather gets bad, you're covered. You can make fire after shelter. Fire gets put out by water and put out by rain. However, if you can stay dry, you can control your body temperature and protect yourself. So I have a simple setup here. Simple guy line setup. There's a carabiner on that end. Has 2 prusik loops on it, which I'll cover in more in depth on another day. And a prusik loop is a simple wrap around a line, so that basically when this is pulled taut, if you put pressure on it, it anchors. However, you can slide it up and down the guy line, and I'll show you how to make those at a later date. All that is down at this end of the line. When it's fastened around the tree and clipped on, I can slide those to wherever I want them on the line. Okay, let's get on to it. Right. My tarp already has guy lines on it, which are hanked up into the corners. Some of them have come unravelled in the bag, not a problem. So what we're going to do, we'll throw the tarp over the guy line, we'll get some tension on it, right, and then we'll get our shelter done. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw a hammock up. I won't be staying overnight, but it'll give me somewhere to sit if I want to. So I wouldn't up with it. Okie doke. So we have an issue. I don't have the distance between the trees to be able to do a straight line top. So what we do, we adapt. So there we have it, guys. One jungle hammock set up, nice and comfy in the woods. Okay, I can have a kit or somewhere to sit that's comfy. I can throw my feet up. I could, in a perfect world, I'd have a little bit less of an arch, but hey, you work to what you can work to. But I'm off the ground, I'm comfy, I'm dry, got space under my shelter to put my kit. What more could you want? What more could you want? Okay. Oh, it's not so easy with my wrist, but yeah. Try to get my boots in my hammock, but yeah, I can sleep in this quite comfortably. Mosquito net pulls down, zips along. I ain't going to get eaten by bugs, and I can just throw it up out of the way if I want to. So there you go, snug pack. Jungle hammock, shelter in the woods. Took no more than about 15 minutes with a bum arm. Okay, some of the knots ain't the tidiest, but I'm here and I'm sheltered. Good drills. Zip the mosquito net up, keep the bugs out. This snug pack also has a nice pocket that it packs away into. Ideal. Dump your phone, dump any kit that you don't want to lose. Okay. As we said before, we put things down, they're gone. Easy as that. So got the rain off us, got the wind off us. Yes, I could improve on the ends. Okay, I can move the shelter back, put the diamond of the points right up against the tree. Okay, but you've got to work to what you got. You know, you can't always get it spotty dog perfect. Okay, I could run a longer line from that tree to that tree, and in an ideal I would give myself more space. However, bum arm, demonstrator, can be done. Refinement comes later. Get the basics practiced. Okay, so shelter up and done. So we're going to get a fire going. Okay, conditions have been damp, as we all know. They're always damp in the UK, but we're going to get a fire going. We come to the fire pit. Again, don't want to be making a fire on the floor where I don't need to. And we're going to create our fire in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is basically a finger test. I'm putting my finger into the ashes that are already in the pit. I want to know if they're damp or not. Okay, if they're not damp, fine, dandy, I can work with it. If they were sodden, scrape them out. Not going to make fire on wet ground, you just create steam. That slows your fire down. Okay, so first things first, that's dry, that's all good. Now you have to excuse me, I'm going to take this support off purely and simply because I'm going to get filthy and I've only got one. I don't want to get it covered in crap. Okay. Oh. Got my bag of wood. The first thing I'm going to do is create a base for my fire. Okay, this gets my fire off the ground. Oh, it's just that camera. Okay, that gets my wood up off the ground, or my fire base up off the ground where I want it. I want it to be up here and protected. Haven't been out for a while, so I have got low on silver birch. What I do have in my bag, many pieces, is some bits of pine and some old bits of birch bark that are a bit manky. Well, they'll burn, but they were no good for making firelight and tinder out of. So I'm going to place those in the bottom, because again, as we said before, pine will burn readily. It's full of sap. Fire lighting choice today is going to be cotton wool balls and a bit of Vaseline. Not so easy to do when your hand doesn't want to work. This is going to be fun for you guys in a minute, when you see me trying to strike this. Should be a giggle. Right. I could go with a cigarette lighter, but I'm trying to make this as realistic as possible. So I'll base my hand. Oh. There we go. Oh well. And as you say, I'm not going to panic. There we go. We'll place some light materials over that. Bit of silver birch in there as well. Well, oxygen. And pack your fire down. Try not to get damp leaves on it. as much oxygen flow in there as you can. They should like a bit of wood around the outside. We'll fold these on in a bit so they can start warming. Dry out any moisture that's in them. Starting to get a bit of heat. Place our larger logs around the fire. There we go. And fire. Well, hopefully I got the video of me lighting the fire, because I've just put my glasses on and seen that it's stopped recording. So I hope I got that. If I haven't, I apologise. But anyhow, so priorities: shelter's up, fire's lit, brew is on. Literally, as soon as you've got your shelter organised, you've got your fire going, get your brew on. Come on, make it fun, make it comfortable. Okay? Survival doesn't have to be all about being starving and thirsty and sort of manning the situation. You know, it's about being comfortable. That's bushcrafting, it's camping, it's getting out, it's having fun. Make it fun, get the brew on. Okay? We've got a griddle on. So what we're going to do, I'm going to let this fire burn down, we'll get some good embers going, and I am going to bake potatoes and cook steak today. Steak with garlic butter, which I'll knock up myself, and some nice baked potatoes, right, which will go down well. So do excuse me cutting there, because this young man's going to have a cigarette and wait for his pot to brew. This is Mickey, have fun, be good, see you in a bit. Okay, can't see my face, but I want you to see my hands. Okay, put brew to one side for a start. So dinner today, dinner out in the woods. Gone for something nice and simple. There's no point in complicating it. So gone for a nice bit of ribeye steak, which is pretty much at wood's temperature. Wooden what's it? Fork. Knife, because I'm feeling civilised. And right, tip time: 2 small potatoes wrapped in 4 layers of foil. 4 layers, 2 small potatoes. I want to bake those. Don't need to be massive potatoes. The next thing I'm going to do You have to excuse hands, but it's only me eating it. Right. Bit of butter in the pan. Bit of garlic. Get my little knife. Get the metal plate. See some action. Right, get my little knife, metal plate, and I am just going to chop that garlic into that butter. I'll give it a bit of a crush first. Now, this is about garlic that I've been learning about lately from a medicinal point of view, and I take it's the same for a cooking point of view. You want that garlic to sit in the air for 5-10 minutes before you do anything with it. And what happens is the chemicals in the garlic react with the air and oxidize, and that's when they start releasing all their garlicky goodness. So don't chuck it straight in the pan, let it sit for a little while. Yeah, and I will apologise, the bits on the butter, that's because I had toast this morning and I used my toast knife to put my butter in the bag. Hey, don't think it's going to hurt me. So what I'm going to do, I am going to let that warm. I'm not going to cook it. I'm just going to let the butter melt, and I'm going to let it infuse with the garlic. That's all I want it to do. So I'm going to put it near the heat, not on the heat, so that it's going to be a very, very, very slow and long infusion. When the fire's burnt down to a level where I've got some nice coals, and I mean just coals, I'll place my baked potatoes in. They're 2 small baked potatoes. They're probably going to want about 30 minutes each, okay? And they're going into coals. I don't want them in direct heat. I don't want them to burn. Okay, I want them to cook through and be a nice potato when they're done. So that's where we'll go with that. Now, on top of that, my kettle's boiling. So as we always say when we're out in the woods, let's get a brew on whilst we're waiting for this fire. We'll get a brew on. And today, as a treat, let the car go past. As a treat, I'm trying out Nescafe Irish lattes. Had these recommended to me, so we'll see if they take over from my, oh, it does smell nice actually. So let's see if that takes over from my old setup, right? Because normally it's white coffee, 2 sugars, because that's what I like, but I'm being daring today and trying something different. Right, let's get the boiling water. Right, now the pan's hot. Let's be sensible about it. Lid's only going to fall off when I tip it up. Oh, that's difficult. Keep that warm. A nice stir. Smells great. Oh, what could you want? Cooking in the woods with me. So, I'm going to place this here, and hopefully I'll keep an eye on that and don't let too much heat get to it, and that way the butter will melt, the garlic will infuse with the butter. Okay, and it is, be gentle with it. It doesn't need a lot of heat. I don't want it frying, you know, and it's difficult to do on a woodland fire. Okay, controlling heat is about moving things away and towards when you're in this situation, and we'll let that burn down to nice coals. Now if I can get that butter nice and soft and liquid and get the garlic into it, it doesn't actually need to stay on the fire. It can go to one side and it can just sit and infuse gently. Oh, I'm feeling hungry already. This is good. And we've got our coffee going. So again, please excuse me, I'm going to get into my coffee and enjoy. Catch you in a bit. Yeah. As we said before, we want our two small baked potatoes to cook slow. So what we've done, we've raked out some ash, and that's probably a bit too warm at the moment. So what we'll do, we'll spread that out a little bit and let that cool just a fraction. Pull that over it. We'll let that cool just a tad, and then what we'll do, we'll cook our baked potatoes. Yeah, that should do the job. So look, peel the ash back. Right, let's take our two small baked potatoes, place them in the ash, and then what we'll do, put the ash up round them, and that way the ash cooks baked potatoes rather than the flames. Now we'll cook your baked spuds on flames. Doesn't work, all you do is you burn them. So there you go, it's Mickey's top tip. 2 small potatoes, 4 layers of foil, cook it slowly, cook it gently. Mickey out. So, the baked potatoes are nearly done. So I've got a nice bit of very dry wood in there, and I'm going to use that to generate the heat, and I'm going to cook my ribeye. So, as we see, the butter and the garlic have chilled. And my nice bit of aged ribeye is about to go on. So I'll let that heat, and once I start to see it fry the garlic gently, then I will add the ribeye, and we'll cook that down. There we go, it's starting to do its magic. Get my spatula. And place my ribeye in. Pan wasn't maybe as hot as I would like, but it'll come to temperature, won't be a problem. Now, really, I should take the garlic out. The overcooked garlic, it can become a little bit bitter. But what we can do, just by moving the pan, we can control the heat a little bit. So I can move a bit with the garlic round, that will slow the cooking process on that, while still cooking my steak. No salt, no pepper, just the basic good stuff. Right, Tim will be finishing work in a bit, I expect, and he'll be looking for a brew. So whilst we're about it, let's top the kettle up. Which has stayed just off simmer, which is quite nice for us. Back on that. That's that near the fire. Let that warm up gently. And it should be a bit of fun, this. We'll see how my baked potatoes come out. Yeah, they'll either come out lovely or they'll come out raw, but we will see how it goes. Anyhow, I'll cut back to the video when we're at the unveiling. Use the loop on that. Pick these potatoes up. Put them over the bed. Well, let's have a look. One baked potato. Two baked potato. Lovely spot. Right. Let's see if these baked potatoes are cooked. I think. Yeah, that's cooked lovely. Oh, of course. Baked potatoes. A bit of the old heart stopper on there. Let's go get my steak. Steak. Now, obviously in an ideal world you'd let that rest. But I'm very hungry. A bit of that garlicky butter on my potato and on my steak. Right, moment of truth. It's a little bit underdone, probably done with a few more minutes, but it's cooked. Oh yeah. So steak's nice and delicate. Potatoes absolutely stunning. And that's how I bake potatoes in the field. And that came from years of practice of figuring out that 9 times out of 10, most of the guys I watch doing this are using too big a potato, not wrapping it in enough foil, and cooking it in too high heat. Take time, guys. Smaller potatoes, more foil, more time. Okay, that way you won't end up with black potatoes. You'll end up with nicely cooked potatoes where you can eat the skin. If it was a survival situation, you can change it. Survival situation, you cook that potato and you cook it in the skin with no foil. Yes, it will burn the skin, but you can then peel the skin off. It'll protect the inner and it will cook. But I like a bit of potato. I like a bit of skin. And I like a bit of steak. And proof is in the pudding, which we also have today. Now I'm going to finish getting stuck into that. Catch you in a bit. So that's the end of our video for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. So, can you put up bush camp, cook your dinner, light a fire and everything with a naff arm? Yes you can, of course you can. Did I find it difficult? Yes, did. And to start off with, it was excruciatingly painful. Funnily enough though, the more I used it, and as I relaxed, as long as I didn't push it too hard or try and pull anything, it wasn't too bad, and it seems to be loosening up. It's probably because it's been in a splint for a few days. It's tightened everything up, so it feels good. It's feeling a bit better. I've had a bit of trouble moving it, it hurts, but we'll push on with that. Ibuprofen, yeah, that's going to help. Guys, that's my video for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and as ever, hope you've had a great and awesome day wherever you are. Hope all is good with you, your family and your friends. Love those you do, forgive those you don't, and as always, Peace, love and light be on you all. This has been Mick, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Please like and subscribe. Mickey out. Be good, guys. Take care.